Welcome to Smashville. This is PK Subban.
I'm Dan Hamhuis.
This is Craig Smith.
This is Mike Fisher.
But you need to dig in right now, every guy.
Everybody loves their soldiers until they come home and stop fighting.
Enough is enough.
They need me to bleed, and I'll bleed for my team.
Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
This is Ryan Johansson. Welcome to Smashville.
This is Philip Forsberg.
I'm Victor Arvidsson.
I'm Ryan Ellis.
I'm Matthias Ekholm.
I'm Beckerin, and you're listening to the Renegades of Puck with Crazy Charlie.
Crazy Charlie puts words in my mouth. You can't trust that guy.
If you can't get some fire, some passion, some energy, and figure out how in the hell to talk about this magnificent sport of hockey that has taken over the city of Nashville, then why are you on the radio? You don't deserve it, and you should do the honorable thing and turn your mic in. You're making a damn fool of yourself.
This is my declaration. I'm coming after every single one of you. The lazy, the tired, the boring voices out there. Your time is up. I'm Crazy Charlie Saunier.
I'm Pete Weber of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Find a way, boys. No more half-stepping.
Now, here's your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier.
Welcome to the Bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, and before we get started with the no half-step in hockey coverage, first let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show. Once you're good and educated about the show, that's when you click on that merchandise tab. Take you straight to our classic logo tee and all the gimmicks you come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck. Socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, makes no difference to us. We've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this independent, unaffiliated operation known as the Renegades of Puck. So here's how you can jump in the trenches with us. Please help us out on Instagram or perhaps on Threads, maybe Facebook, X, whatever it is social media wise that you prefer. It doesn't take you but a second, it doesn't cost you a thing, but it goes a very long way to helping the Renegades of Puck. So please, if you can, support us there. You can also support the show by going to YouTube and subscribing to our channel. Please turn on the notifications, get the latest content from the Renegades of Puck. We haven't added any new subscribers in the last couple of days. Would really love to see those numbers go back up in a positive direction. So please let the Renegades in your life know about our YouTube channel and get us some more subscribers. Every Renegade counts. We sure could use some numbers. So again, stick taps, love, and respect to everybody following along right there on our YouTube channel. We do have a virtual tip jar right over there on the corner of the desk. So please scan that QR code if you can spare $1. It sure does go a long way to helping us here in the trenches. You can just go to Venmo and search out Renegades of Puck as well. Again, we're in the process of building a brand new set. You may have seen that on our social media accounts yesterday. We had the first day of construction, and it is a mess out here. All around the camera, all around the set, it is an absolute mess right now, but we're working on it. We're going to have some things to show you very soon, so please invest in the future of the Renegades of Puck by making a donation through Venmo today. Stick taps, love, and respect are sure to appreciate it. Now, listen, I know it's time for the Have Stuff in Hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. Time for episode number 856. I said 856, I mean 956. That's right, time for show number 956. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 7th place in the Central Division after 45 games skated. They now have a record of 16, 22, and 7. 39 points still has them very far outside a playoff spot, but compiling points in the last week has them creeping just a little bit. Their next game will take place at Bridgestone Arena, which is home ice, where they have a record of 11, 8, and 3. They'll be facing off against the San Jose Sharks. We'll talk about them more in just a moment. 115 goals scored by the Preds this season, 139 goals against. That's a goal differential of minus 24. Now, the week ahead for the Nashville Predators sees them, after hosting the San Jose Sharks, Thursday going to San Jose to face off against the Sharks again. Saturday in Anaheim, first time facing the Ducks this season. On the 29th of January, back at Bridgestone Arena, closing out the regular season series with the Vancouver Canucks. Then the 31st of January sees the Preds off to Buffalo and opening up the month of February in Pittsburgh. Central Division update now. The Winnipeg Jets still occupy first place and have extended their lead over the Minnesota Wild, actually thanks to the Nashville Predators. 65 points for the Winnipeg Jets as tops in the Central, followed by the Minnesota Wild at 58 points. The Dallas Stars have 57 points, are in third place, but the Colorado Avalanche also have 57 points due to tiebreakers in games played. They're on the outside looking in, but lurking. St. Louis has 48 points, and in fifth place, Utah has 45 points and is in sixth place. The Predators are at 39 points in seventh, and Chicago 33 points in eighth place. For the Predators, and the San Jose Sharks. This is the first of 3 regular season meetings. Again, they'll turn around, jump on a plane, and Thursday face off for the second time out of their 3 meetings, this time in San Jose. And on the 11th of March, the Preds will head back out to San Jose for their second trip this season, and that will wrap up the 3-game series against the San Jose Sharks for the regular season. Quick update on the injury front for the Nashville Preds. Jankowski now listed as day-to-day, opening up a whole nother can of worms between the Nashville Preds and the Minnesota Wild, but that won't take place until next season. Evangelista is still on IR. Luzon also listed on IR. Good to see Willsby off of injured reserve and back on the ice. Now, for the Nashville Predators, next opponent will be the San Jose Sharks. From the Pacific Division, their record overall in the season is 14-28-6. They have 34 points, and they are in last place in the Pacific Division, one of the few teams with less points than the Nashville Predators. On the road, 6-14-5. They've scored 122 goals this season. They've given up 169 goals against. It's a goal differential of minus 47. Now, the Predators will have a advantageous scheduling situation here against the San Jose Sharks as well. You'll understand in just a moment. Let's talk about their most recent 5 completed games. On the 10th of January, it's a 2-1 loss at the Utah Hockey Club. Get a name already. On the 11th of January, it was 3-1 loss versus the Minnesota Wild. On the 14th of January, 6-3 win at the Detroit Red Wings. On the 16th of January, 4-1 loss at the Columbus Blue Jackets. On the 18th of January, it's a 4-1 loss at the New York Islanders. That's their most recent completed games. Georgiev getting the start, taking the loss, going 27 out of 31. Monday afternoon, the San Jose Sharks will be in Boston to face off against the Bruins. Then we'll have to hop a plane, come straight to Nashville, and Tuesday night face off against the Predators. So the San Jose Sharks should be arriving during single-digit temperatures here in the Nashville area late night, Monday night into Tuesday for that next game. That next game and the matchup, while the numbers a little bit skewed because we'll be missing 1 game for San Jose, still pretty accurate once we're at the 45-game mark of the season. Goals for the Nashville Predators, 31st in the NHL. It ain't 32nd, 2.53 and creeping. 31st overall in the NHL. Small gains are good gains. 2.54 for San Jose's 30th in the NHL. So if the Predators win this game, they should eclipse the San Jose Sharks for 30th in scoring as well. Another small gain in the goals against category. 3.09 for Nashville is 19th best in the league. 3.44 goals against for San Jose's 31st overall, 1 spot from the bottom. In the shots on goal category, the Preds generating 29.5. They're up to a top 10 metric right here, 9th overall in all of the league. The San Jose Sharks generating only 26.7 shots on goal per game. That's 27th in the league. The Sharks also giving up 32.2 against per game. That's 31st in the NHL, while the Predators are only giving up 29.1. 22nd in the NHL, right there in the middle third of the league. In the special teams scenario, it is the Predators leading in both of these particular categories. 20.2% of the power play conversions, 20th overall in the NHL, 26 conversions of 129 opportunities for the Preds. 18% conversion rate for the Sharks is 26th overall in the league, 25 conversions on 139 opportunities. When it comes to penalty kill, the Predators 6th overall in the NHL. Yes, that's dropped back a little bit from where they were for the majority of the season, but 82.8% is still a very good kill rate, and they've given up 23 power play goals against the Sharks. 79% kill rate is 16th in the NHL. For where they are in the standings, that's actually not that bad. Overall, 30 power play goals against on the season. When it comes to the individual scoring leaders for both of these teams, let's start with the San Jose Sharks. And again, they do have a game at Boston on Monday before coming to Nashville, so these numbers could be altered by then. Mikael Granlund, yes, that Mikael Granlund, 12 goals and 25 assists for 37 total points to pace the San Jose Sharks at this moment of the season. Eklund is at 10 and 24 for 34 points. Celebrini in his first season in the NHL, very heralded rookie, 13 goals, 19 assists, 32 total points. Toffoli having a very good season at 17 goals, at 13 assists, that for 30 points, and Zetterlund is at 12 and 16 for 28. Over on the Preds side of things, we definitely saw a bump in the numbers here. 15 goals now for Philip Forsberg, plus 27 assists for 42 total points. That paces the Predators in both assists and points, but not in goals. We'll get to that in just a sec. Marchessault at 14 goals, 20 assists for 34 total points. Captain Romaniossi's at 8 and 24 for 32. Steven Stamkos is leading the Nashville Predators in goals with 16 14 now on the season, had 14 assists to that for a nice even 30 points. And O'Reilly's at 13 and 14 for 27. Anticipated goaltending matchup, and maybe I just penciled this one in because I wanted to make it happen. Askarov, former Nashville Predators super prospect since going to the San Jose Sharks, has a record of 3-3-2 on the season, 2.39 goals against average with a 917 save percentage, facing off against his old mentor, UC Saros, 11-18-6 with a 272 goals against a 905 save percentage and 4 shutouts. So for the Preds and the Sharks, the first of 3 meetings this season, 6 critically important points for the Nashville Predators and a team below them in the standings. The Preds have a great opportunity to continue their win streak, close out the homestand strong, and then start the next road trip strong as well against the same squad. It's going to be a lot of Sharks talk for the next couple episodes here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. Let's go back and let's recap what happened against the Minnesota Wild. It's called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. It's coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. We go all the way back January 18th, the year 2025, when the Nashville Predators were hosting the Minnesota Wild at Bridgestone Arena. Head coach Andrew Burnett deploys his defensive pairings and his lines in the following way: Forsberg, Stamkos, and Marchessault, Nyquist, O'Reilly, and Heinz, Strozen, Novak, Svechkov, LaRue, Jankowski, McCarron. Sissons, your defensive pairings are Yossi and Barron, Shea and Blankenberg, Willsby and Shen. UC Saros gets the start in net at Bridgestone Arena. We're only 15 seconds into the game where we find our first action, and Saros coming with a save on Middleton. That's the first shot on goal of the game. 40 seconds in, it's Fleury coming with a save on Yossi. That's the Predators' first shot on goal. 154 of the first period. What everybody was watching for: LaRue versus Trennan. 5 minutes each. LaRue answering the bell after the last game, the controversial slew foot and suspension. Immediately after that, face off, Shen and Foligno off the box. 5 minutes each, and then at 2:05 of the first period, Boldy is off the box, minutes for tripping. This allows Forsberg to end up picking up a penalty, 2 minutes for tripping, and that's going to create a 4-on-4 scenario for a minute and 15 seconds. Then a power play of 45 seconds. Saros would have to come up with a save on Chisholm during the special teams scenario. At the 6:23 mark of the first period, it's Jurasek coming up with his first goal of the season, a wrist shot on the 2-on-1 rush, beating Saros. The Minnesota Wild hold a 1-0 lead at Bridgestone Arena. 6:24 of the first period now, it's Jankowski coming up with a fight against Hartman. They're off to the box, 5 minutes each right here. Jankowski takes a heavy blow after the fight's over. While he's down, he would not return for the remainder of the game. 7:26 of the first period. Now Fleury comes up with a save on Forsberg at 8:22 of the first. Sissons picks up his 5th goal of the season. It was McCarron's pass off of the goal stick of Fleury to Sissons in the slot for the conversion, tying the game up at 1 apiece. At the 10:03 mark of the first period, it's Fleury coming up with a save on Philip Forsberg at 12:25 of the first period. Saros coming up with a save on Eriksson X. Wraparound attempt, the 14:12 mark of the first now. Fleury comes up with a save on Blankenberg, plus the follow-up, a strong hold on the goal line by Fleury. 15:36 of the first now. Faber's off the box, 2 minutes for roughing on LaRue. Again, another opportunity where the Minnesota Wild went out of their way to go after LaRue. Fleury comes up with a save on Marchessault, but then Forsberg cashes in, 14th goal of the season. A one-hand backhand of the loose puck in the slot. He fans on the first shot, first to pounce on the loose puck. 3 defenders and a goaltender to beat. He does it with one hand and gets a nice lift on that backhand, putting the Predators ahead 2-1 here. We go to the end of the first period. The Preds are out shooting the Minnesota Wild by a total of 17-7. We hit the clean sheet of the second period, 54 seconds in. Steven Stamkos finding the back of the net with the 16th goal of the season with a low shot redirect. Now Forsberg's perfect cross slot pass right through the 5-hole into the back of the net. The Predators lead 3-1. But then 2:07 of the second period, Svechkov's 4th goal of the season with a wrist shot from the slot off of Novak's sauce pass. The Predators now lead 4-1 in this game early in the second period. 4:10 mark of the second, it's Saros coming with a save on Rossi at the 5:34 mark of the second period. Shea off the box, 2 minutes for hooking. Saros comes up with a save on Hartman, and the PK would hold strong. 8:35 the second. Fleury comes up with a save on Forsberg, plus the follow-up by Marchessault. Then at 10:55, Fleury a save on LaRue, plus the follow-up by Nyquist. 12:24 now of the second period. Saros comes with the save on Eriksson Ek. 14:19 the second. Saros a save on Boldy. 14:37. Saros a save on Zuccarello, and the Minnesota Wild are having their best pressure of the entire game. UC Saros Saros is holding the line here in the middle of the second period. 1846 in the second, Fleury a save on Marchessault. In 1915 of the second period, Schenn is off the box, 2 minutes for interference. Saros comes up with a save on Boldy. We hit the intermission. The Preds holding a 4-1 lead and out shooting the Minnesota Wild 30-18. That's right, the Nashville Predators with 17 shots on goal in the first period, 13 shots on goal in the second period, and I've already put 4 goals up on the board. We start the third period with a carryover of the power play of 115. Strong PK by the Nashville Predators. That's when we get to flip over to the backside of the sheet. We find ourselves at 143 of the third, where Wilsby is picking penalty, 2 minutes for delay of game. Boldy cashing in on that power play for the Wild with his 18th goal of the season. It was Shea and Saros colliding at the side of the crease, leaving the net empty. All Boldy had to do was direct the puck towards it, and it was going to go in. The Predators still maintain a 4-2 lead here in the third period, but things are getting a little tighter. 2:43 now. The third, Saros comes up with a save on Foligno. 2:58, Fleury a save on Marchessault's wraparound attempt. We go to the 7:09 mark of the third period. Now Saros comes up with a save on Yakov Trenin. 8:04, Saros a save on Middleton. So again, the Wild looking to close the gap here. 9:51 of the third, Fleury comes up with a save on Forsberg. The 11:04 mark of the third period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Merrill. 16:12, Fleury a save on LaRue. And then 16:20 of the third period, it's Forsberg with his 15th goal of the season. A second chance backhand after pouncing on the Predators' face-off win. He gets there first, as he's done multiple times in recent stretches of hockey. His 15th goal of the season puts the Preds ahead 5-2. A little breathing room. 17:44, Saros his last big save of the game on Eriksson Ek. 18:11, Brady Shea puts the puck into the empty net by accident, basically trying to find Philip Forsberg. He slides it right into the empty net for his 4th goal, and it's nice to have a good laugh as the Predators win 6-2 on home ice, out shooting the Minnesota Wild 38-29, winning their 3rd straight game on this homestand. It was a win over the Vegas Golden Knights, then the Chicago Blackhawks, and now a win over the Minnesota Wild. San Jose, one more game to go on this homestand. The Predators with a chance to take 8 out of 10 possible points. So the Preds pick up their 3rd win in a row on home ice, and they beat the second-place Minnesota Wild, who were way too distracted in this game, trying to get retribution and revenge. The Predators focused more on the hockey. They answered the bell when they had to in the fights out there, but they took care of business as far as hockey was concerned, and that's what they need more than anything right here. The Preds start to put a little bit of pressure on the teams up ahead of them in the standings for the first time this season by picking up a batch of points here on this homestand. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We'll be right back on the Renegades of Puck podcast with analysis, box score, and so much more.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Predators continue their win streak on home ice, 3 games in a row now. This victory over the Minnesota Wild deserves a little bit of analysis and some talk. Let's talk about UC Saros getting the start in net, 27 out of 29, strong overall. He got collided into by one of his defensemen, taken out, so the second goal against really shouldn't even be counted. The first goal, what a rip right there by the young player for the Minnesota Wild. So I thought UC Saros was strong, had good team support in front, didn't face the heaviest workload with only 29 shots against in this game, but in the second period, there was a particular stretch where Minnesota was starting to buzz, and that could have been a moment where they came back, and UC Saros shut them down and held that wall strong. So UC Saros deserves some conversation in this one for his 11th victory of the season, helping the Predators beat a team that's quite a bit ahead of them in the standings. Philip Forsberg was the offensive star of this game. Well, he's been the offensive star of this entire franchise's history. He is the single best offensive player in Nashville Predators history. 2 goals in this game, 2 assists in this game, 4 total points, 8 shots on goal, his 5th straight game with a goal. And now listen to this, 25 points in his last 17 games. Yes, he is leading the Predators with 42 points, but 25 of those 42 points have come in the last 17 games. Philip Forsberg is clearly back on the groove, and it was a while there for him with the drought. But Philip Forsberg, one of the most prolific and streaky scorers in the league, and you can see that happening right now. 6 goals in his last 5 games. Awesome, awesome stuff to see out there on the ice. Steven Stamkos also adds a goal, and this is 16th. It leads the Nashville Predators. He's got 4 goals in the last 3 games. And Steven Stamkos, all he does is score goals. He scores them from everywhere, and he scores them in a number of different ways. But the one thing he does is he scores. It's awesome to watch night in, night out, shift in, shift out. He's one hell of a competitor out there on the rink, and it really is a very enjoyable thing to watch here in Nashville. So Steven Stamkos adds his team-leading 16th to the sheet. Svechnikov also picks up goal. His second goal against the Minnesota Wild this season. 3 shots on goal. Strong slot play going to the hard areas. Gets a goal for the young Nashville Predators prospect, but only 9:58 in total time on ice. I think that he's ready to start getting a little bit more time out there on the rink. He is proving to be very reliable and certainly not a problem out there on the defensive side of things. So Svechnikov picks up a goal in this one. Sissons also picks up a goal. It's good. Colton Sissons was in a long scoring drought this season. Now he's been on the score sheet a number of times as of late, and that's also good. Yossi, 2 assists, 24-34 in total time on ice. The captain, Roman Yossi, out there leading his team, doing good things, and coming away with a huge, huge victory in this one. Now listen, the storyline of the game, it's LaRue. His stat line, not even noticeable. 2 shots on goal, 12-36 in total time on ice. He had 1 blocked shots. He had no hits. He had no takeaways. As a matter of fact, LaRue, for the most part, played a somewhat invisible game until you get to how in the head he was of the Minnesota Wild. Listen, everybody knew he was going to have to answer. The Minnesota Wild have been public about it since the game on New Year's Eve that LaRue was going to get a receipt in this game. LaRue answered the bell on his first shift, goes up against Yakov Trenin, actually got himself good and pounded, but then comes out of the box, goes right back to the game, draws a power play for his team later. The Predators would score on, and was a bit of a distraction all game long for the Minnesota Wild. The Wild are a better team. They're a more skilled team, and they're certainly having a much better season than the Nashville Predators. But to come in and focus all your energy on chasing around a third-line winger who only played 12 minutes and didn't affect the score sheet at all, well, that was a mistake by the Minnesota Wild, and they allowed the Predators to get their only victory of the regular season against the Wild. So the Preds find a way to pull 3 of 6 points out of the 3-game series against the Minnesota Wild, and 2 of those points come simply because the Wild were too distracted chasing a rookie winger around who only played 12 minutes instead of focusing on the game itself. The Preds went out there looking to play hockey, and I love the way Luke Schenn responded for LaRue taking that beating. Schenn laid a little beating on Foligno just 2 seconds after that on the next faceoff. It's interesting to watch the nuances of the game if you understand what's going on out there. There was a lot happening with that, but the Minnesota Wild were distracted the entire game chasing LaRue all over the rink and gave up 6 goals against to a team that's 31st in the NHL in scoring. For as worked up as their players were and as worked up as their fan base was ever since that New Year's Eve game, I bet you today they're really, really pissed off about it now. So moving on from there, the Predators secure a huge victory on the home rink. Let's hear from our good friends at Stripe Digital Solutions. Let's come back. Let's go through the good, cold, hard numbers known as the box score. And then, just like we took a look back at Home Base Freakout 1 on the previous episode, we're going to take a look back on Home Base Freakout 2 on this episode as we are counting down towards episode 1000 here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
Welcome back in. Time for the good, cold, hard numbers known as the box score right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. Your goal scorers for this Nashville Predators team. Philip Forsberg leads the way with 2. Colton Sisson, Steven Stamkos, Fedor Svechnikov, and Brady Shea also chip in with goals in this game. Roman Josi paces the Predators in assists with 2. Philip Forsberg also with 2. Give Luke Shen an assist in this one. Ryan O'Reilly also with an assist. Novak, McCarron, Marchessault also adding assists. Shots on goal. Well, you already heard the number. It's a pretty big one. Philip Forsberg with 8 shots on goal in this game. He was letting it fly from everywhere and just missed the hat trick there with the empty net there at the end. Marchessault had 5 shots on goal. Shea had 4 shots on goal. When it comes to block shots, 2 was the high, and only 1 for a handful of Predators. Only 8 total block shots in this game for the Predators, but they did win 6-2. Hard to complain about them not blocking enough shots when Saros only had to face 29 total shots against. In the hits category, the Minnesota Wild way more focused on running around trying to make the Predators pay a physical price, while the Predators were more interested in putting the puck in the net. Reflective in the box score as Colton Sissons led the Predators with only 3 hits in this game. 2 for Michael McCarron, 2 for Blankenberg, 2 for Josi, 2 for Shen, 2 for Wilsby. But that would be it. Only a total of 15 hits by the Nashville Predators. Again, way more focused on winning a hockey game, less focused on getting involved and mucking it up. They answered the bell when they had to, but other than that, they focused on putting the puck in the net and winning a very, very big hockey game for this particular team. All right, when it comes to time on ice leaders, it was 21-25 for Marchessault, 20-28 for Steven Stamkos, and 19-12 for Philip Forsberg. Unfortunately, Mark Jankowski only skates 1 minute and 16 seconds in this game. He ends up leaving injured after having a fight. 24-34 was the tops for the overall team, of course, by the captain, Roman Josi. 21-13 by Brady Shea. Every other defenseman under 20 minutes in this game. When it comes to these special teams, the Predators were 1 for 3 on the power play, and the power play time on ice leaders 410 for Philip Forsberg, 352 for Steven Stamkos, 345 for Jonathan Marchessault, and 311 for Ryan O'Reilly, 345 for the captain Roman Josi. The PK was 3 out of 4 in this game. Your penalty kill time on ice leaders 246 for Colton Sissons, 221 for Gus Nyquist, 244 for Brady Shea, 243 for Nick Blankenberg, 228 for Adam Wilsby. Your goaltender in this game, UC Saros gets the start, goes 27 out of 29, gives up 2 goals against, an in-game save percentage of .931, 25 even strength saves, 2 power play saves, no shorthanded saves. A couple other numbers falling out of the box score. Mentioned the power play 1 for 3, the PK 3 for 4, the face-off winning percentage 55.2% for this Nashville Predators team. That's a nice number right there. 15 hits, again focused more on putting the puck in the net than going after people physically. 8 block shots is a low number, but played from ahead the majority of the game. 3 takeaways, 22 giveaways. A little loose on the puck, but again, you win 6-2. You're not going to get too much of a critique for being sloppy on the puck there in the middle of the second period and for a little while in the third period. So that's going to do it for the box scores game. The Predators win 6-2, defeat the Minnesota Wild, close out the regular season series, picking up 3 out of a total 6 points from the Minnesota Wild, an overtime loss in Minnesota, and the victory in the only game that took place at Bridgestone Arena this season. Now listen, we took a look back at Home Base Freakout 1 on the last episode. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the sequel right here. It was Home Base Freakout 2. It took place in the same location, Tailgate Brewery down on Music Row. We changed the format. We made it more about the fans in this one, and it was another incredible turnout on what turned out to be a really rainy night by the end of that show. It was a fabulous show. So many Renegades in attendance. We had the Renegades of Puck on stage. We did a little bit of a show up there. We had Jeff Middleton. We had Chauncey Smith. We had Brian Basson. We had the Renegades of Puck Hockey Club all out there. And each and every one of you Renegades who came out, we sure do appreciate it. Let's take a look back now at Home Base Freakout 2. It was the 3rd live show for the Renegades of Puck, and it was another great party. All right, let's take you back to last night. Let's go back to Tailgate Brewery, Music Row, 1538 DeMunbury, and let's go back to how the day unfolded. I'm wearing a Savannah Ghost Pirates shirt here in the bunker this evening because I am going to tell you, Renegades, I had so much fun giving stuff away that I gave away virtually every piece of Renegades of Puck merchandise that existed in and around the bunker. I gave away jerseys, t-shirts, pucks, stickers, pins, posters. We gave away everything at Home Base Freakout 2 at Tailgate Brewery, and it was absolutely incredible. The first place starts with Tailgate Brewery. Just an incredible job. There are always difficulties in the planning and the execution of shows. Tailgate Brewery has shown the flexibility and the willingness to allow us to solve problems as they arise, and that's great. That shows great trust, great partnership, and I'm so happy to be working with Tailgate Brewery. It was great to work with Trey, getting the beer on tap this year. The Renegades of Puck Cream Ale, wonderful to see the artist in-house making the sign. So many incredible things happening before the event even started. And then when we got to the event, all the Renegades of Puck were in there. To be on stage with the entire group, to have Jeff Middleton and Chauncey Smith and Brian Baston on stage, to have us doing our thing, to have us talking to the live audience, to have the live audience reacting to us the way that they were. It was just absolutely incredible. It was so much fun. And then to have all the different Renegades come in and come through. So many of my friends in production circles from around the city stopped by, and it was so great to see every one of them because they know how much work goes into an event like this. So for them to come out and support it, you know that I really, really put in the effort and put in the hard work and earned their trust and willingness to come out to an event when, frankly, I know how busy they are. To have all of the different Preds analysts, media members, broadcasters, to have everybody from the hockey community, players, Zamboni drivers, Renegades of Puck Hockey Club members. It was just incredible. And we had a great time, and it was great fun. And I'm so excited to tell you that Tailgate Brewery was so excited. The manager stopped me before we even finished closing the event. And he said, after I get some rest, which is going to need a little bit of rest, he said, let's talk about Home Base Freakout 3. Seriously, let's already start planning it. Let's not wait until next year to figure it out. Let's start doing it now. So Tailgate Brewery is very much interested in continuing a partnership with the Renegades Puck. The Renegades Puck are very much interested in continuing that partnership with Tailgate Brewery. It's a match made in hockey, and I'm so incredibly happy. In the captain's speech, I talked, and I hope to have some video of this coming up on the next episode. I talked about breaking down the barriers that exist between us and finding the commonalities, finding what exists, what is the easiest things in common. We all breathe, we all drink, we all eat, we all live, we all die. That's 5 simple things that we all have in common. And once you can find 5 things in common, you can find so many more similar things about each other. When we finally get all of the things that we have in common out of the way, then you'll find yourself to the end of the list, and then you'll start to think, what are our differences? And your differences will be so minute and so minuscule, no matter what they are, that you'll realize that we have a million things in common. And for so many of us, especially you watching and listening, it's about hockey. It's about watching hockey, loving hockey. You can love whatever team you want, but it's all about the game itself. It's not about what colors you're for. We all have it in common. We love the sport of hockey, whether you play it, whether you watch it, whether you grew up with it, or whether you just found it a week ago. We all come to the same conclusion. We love the sport of hockey. We have that in common. Let's stop putting up these fake walls and barriers between our ability to become a bigger and better hockey community. Let's strive for excellence. Let's become great. Let's execute the no half-stepping lifestyle each and every day in each and every way. That's what I talked about last night on stage with the Renegades of Puck live and in attendance, and I know that the words sunk in, and I know that each and every one of them were paying close attention. That's what the captain does. The captain sets the tone, and I will lead by example. So thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you that came out for Home Base Freakout 2, having another handshake summit with Willie Donick, having all of the Renegades, all the different media members, having Dan Bradley back in town and coming in for the event. So a multi-state event is what it turned out to be yet again this year, and we're so proud. Hundreds of Renegades. I don't know what the final head count was. It was tough to keep track. We had 4 different rooms going and active at the event, and at all different times, including the overflow outside on the deck. Just simply an incredible night. I'll have more to say about this event, and I'll have more to say about all of these different topics coming soon. But for now, just simply cheers, a toast to each and every one of you Renegades of Puck who made the journey, came out to Home Base Freakout 2. Some of you had never been to one of our events. Some of you had never been to anything like that before. And I think you left with a warm and fuzzy at the end of the night. And I think that we can count on having you back in the trenches with us again soon. Thank you, guys. We sure do appreciate it. It was so great meeting you. Me getting an opportunity to glad hand, to shake hands and look in the eye and talk to the Renegades directly. There is no captain and no leader that does it better than I do. So every opportunity I have to spend that time with you, I'm going to take that advantage and take that opportunity. Renegades, I love every one of you. Thank you so much. It was an incredible year. It's going to be an incredible year cycle next year. We found our Super Bowl. We found our WrestleMania. It's called Home Base Freakout. We're going to be up to number 3 next year. And when we keep doing this for years and years and years, that'll give us the opportunity to build it from a couple hundred to a couple thousand, and who knows how far beyond. The podcast's already getting a couple of million listens a year. Maybe one day that's how many we'll have at Home Base Freakout. Home Base Freakout 2 was absolutely fantastic. You never know. Right now, there's not a Home Base Freakout 3 on the calendar, but you never know when we might suddenly decide to throw a huge party for the whole hockey community. I don't know. Episode 1000, Home Base Freakout 3/episode 1000 live show. Maybe we ought to talk about doing something like that here in the near future. Hey, Tailgate Brewery, might be sending you guys a message here in the coming days. That's going to do it for episode number 956. Let's go ahead and get out of the bunker. Listen, Predators on a 3-game winning streak, a chance to close out the homestand with a 4-game win streak. Listen, the game against Washington was disappointing, okay? But since then, clobbering the Vegas Golden Knights the way they did, coming back against Chicago, and now beating Minnesota. That's 2 quality victories and one you had to have against the Blackhawks. Now the Predators have a chance to close out the homestand against the San Jose Sharks. Close it strong. Your second straight 5-game homestand where you're closing it out strong. You have a potential of getting 8 out of 10 points. This would put you over 40 points on the season, and it would have you closing the gap on Utah and St. Louis ahead of you. If you can find a way to continue the winning streak and getting points in the next batch of games that do not have the toughest strength of schedule, then you could put pressure on 6 and 5 in the Central Division. And once you can move up a couple of spots, well, then you are in the wild card conversation. As unlikely as it would be, it's not mathematically impossible, and it's certainly not over yet. A whole hell of a lot of hockey to go still, and if the Predators can continue doing this good job out there on the rink, well, then they'll find themselves in good place. A solid homestand, then a split-even long road trip, and then another solid homestand if they close it out the right way. Well, the Preds are trending in the right direction, making small gains, and some positive things are certainly happening out there on the rink. I'm going to get out of the bunker right now. It's freezing cold. Everybody be incredibly safe. Make sure you take care of yourselves. Make sure you take care of your pets. Make sure you button up your bunker properly over the next few hours, as we're going to be approaching single-digit temperatures over the coming day or two. Every one of you, I need you to be safe. I need you to be smart. I need you to be secure. Stay sharp. We got some dangerous situations out there. Check on your friends. Check on your neighbors. Check on those who may not have the resources to keep themselves as warm as they need to this time of year. Please, Renegades, it's up to us to take care of each other, and it's up to us to go out there and make sure the community itself is taken care of. Do what you can. Stay safe. We'll be back in the bunker here in about 2 days. We're going to button it up right now. We're going to close things down, and we're going to shut operations to keep ourselves warm, as we've just told everyone else to do. Op 956 in the books. I'm your host and Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. Appreciate each and every one of you. Stick taps, love, and respect.